what you did was basically lay out the complexity of a city and the difficulty that is not a single solution that solves all the problems. Because I think that when we talk about partnership, and Jay and I were talking a little bit about how do you bring in the private sector and universities into this space and try to create together, I think the difficulty is that they don't speak city. You just spoke city. You just basically talked about the complexity and the difficulty of a multifaceted problem, right? It's not just about transportation. It's not just about affordability. And the difficulty oftentimes with cities is they look at companies as vendors. They look at them as they're trying to sell me on a solution rather than work with me. And universities oftentimes have no idea how to descend 20,000 feet into a city. It seems to me that there just should be better solution sets available to the cities to both identify the vulnerable populations and then serve the vulnerable populations. One of the disconnects in the cities that I've noticed is that the transit agency or the transportation agency has a way of doing things. They work on service, right? Providing service to people. And then the public health folks have a whole different way of looking. I'm going to pick on San Francisco for a second because when we were working with Jillian, we talked about, went sat down with the MTA, and had a great conversation with them. And they talked about their on time and they were able to get people to healthcare. So we talked about access to healthcare. They did an awesome job. And then we talked to the public health folks and they had a completely different narrative. And my question to the three of you is, how do you break down those internal barriers within your city so that there is actually a conversation? So if you do have a technology solution, you can apply it to the multifaceted problem. So I'll start with you, Sarah, because you're not a transportation person, so this makes it a little bit more fun.
I had to make sure that was really clear that I couldn't speak to transportation.
Right? In LA, I think this is a good time for us to compete in that.
So, our IT department, we have anywhere between 60 and 90 people, depending on the projects that we're working on. We have GIS people sort of embedded in each department to some extent, depending on the department. And so we work really closely with them. We also have project managers who work closely with the application owners, depending on the department. To some extent, I think that we're still finding out about technology solutions that have been procured a little bit further along than we would like. And so we're not necessarily helping to develop the requirements. And so we're trying to retrofit some of these solutions to our technology environment. To be totally honest, we have some bad press in New Orleans that our IT department has been working to correct over the last administration, the past 8 years. But I think that we have become stronger over the last couple of years in particular, working very closely with the departments and really sort of positioning ourselves as technology consultants. So defining our service offerings and sort of presenting those as solutions to the departments and not just as the infrastructure beneath it, but that we're actually sort of helping to drive the implementation and the use case as well.
So, Charles, you want me to give you a different question?
I can take this one. So, the foundation of a smart city is the ICT, the information communications technology. And all of these different business units in a city, and even outside of city government, need to have a good ICT. So in our city, what we're doing is trying to get departments to collaborate, understand their needs for ICT. They all have different ICT needs, and try to make sure we provide the best foundation that suits all of them. The second thing that we're trying to do is to get them all to work together. We have Smart City Steering Committee, of which I'm a member, but then we have a larger city Smart Cities Committee represented with representation from all the departments in the city. And we're trying to get them to work 2 and 3 at a time, try to come up with common solutions for maybe 2 or 3 departments at a time, and then prioritize or capital expenditures, such that, you know, if you have 3 departments like police, traffic, and maybe parking working together on a solution that benefits all 3 of them, then that moves up the list of funding. And we're trying to encourage that and try to get some innovation amongst them, and not encourage folks to just try to come up with a solution that benefits just one department. Of course, there will be exceptions where you need to fund something that benefits just one silo, but we're finding that when we try to tell them that if you want funding next year, want to be guaranteed funding next year, we'll find 2 or 3 other departments outside of your mission. Work with them, come up with some solutions for your challenges and theirs all together, and you'll be guaranteed some funding. That works for us.